Hello and welcome to the Villa Fan Zone. I'm your host, Dan Rolinson, for this one, joined by John Townley. John, how's things, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Busy?
I did say, yeah, I'm busy. I did say before this show that I wasn't going to talk about my impending house move, but seeing that email go up to 200, yeah. Oh dear.
Is that
Oh,
reflective of real life, is it?
yeah. No, absolutely. I've turned everything off though, so yeah. If it collapses, no one will know about it on this podcast. And
Okay,
my
good.
emotions will be the same as they are. So no, I'm looking forward to Sunday. Because a bit of a park yesterday. Obviously, a lot being said before the game, big backdrop to it, but we won, and that's what matters. And then Sunday
Yeah.
again, it would be a fantastic win if we can get it, and yeah, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. So Fan Zone is our show that we react to fans' comments, opinions, predictions. You can see the live chat over there next to John, which at the moment is blank. To be fair, we are doing this at a different time. So if people want to start joining and leaving their thoughts, that'd be useful. We do have, though, plenty to discuss from the mailbag, as always. John, I've got 10 or so comments with a little headline each. Do you want to pick one out of the bag and we'll discuss?
Yeah, let's do it. So let's start with Clobber.
Clobber. Okay.
Is this about me?
No, it is about
good.
Tel Aviv, actually, very quickly. Who was the imposter that replaced Kendrick for the last night's episode? 34-minute post-match show and no comments about the Tel Aviv physio's clobber. Something's not right. Didn't see this. Was he wearing
I did.
rogue clobber?
No. Well, sometimes in the European games they wear over a suit or something.
Okay.
A bit more out there or smart. He was a smart casual, really. When he first came on the pitch, I'm not gonna lie, I did say to the person next to me, if I was a steward, I would probably take him down because he looked like an intruder, and that would have been a laugh as long as he weren't injured himself, because no one would be there to then help him. So, yeah. I can't exactly remember what he was wearing, but yeah, it's a thing with European games.
Yeah.
It's like when they bring on the little van when a player's injured and then they go off on it. Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, I didn't see that, but I do know what you mean. Now you've mentioned it. Yeah, good. A couple of comments come through. Zanas working but listening. Thumbs up. Afternoon, says Rachel. Kevin, easy night's work. Hardly any trouble whatsoever, as suspected. Media hype, and we move on. Absolutely, let's do that. The chat was in subscriber only mode last night, but it isn't now. So if people want to start getting involved, they can do. Hello to Stephen as well. You can see your comments on screen. Right, give me another topic, John. Let's start talking about and looking forward to Premier League action, shall we?
Yeah. Let's go for yeah. Let's just do this one. John will defend him.
John will defend him. We will be there. I know we're all a little tired of the Watkins debate, but when is enough enough? Now even Tuchel has seen his performances don't warrant an England squad inclusion. For me, I'd start Marlon on Sunday and target a striker in January. I know John will defend him, but when he's missing chances, he says he's getting in the right places. And when he's not even doing that, it's his teammates' fault for not creating. When exactly is it on Ollie? Ooh.
Okay. Okay, so firstly, he's not been included in the England squad because of fitness issue. It's not really something that Emery has spoken about in recent weeks. Obviously, collided against the post against Wales, then come off the bench against Spurs and made an impact that allowed us to win that football match. And since then, has apparently been dealing with something which, again, Villa haven't really spoken about. So maybe that's part of the reason why he hasn't been firing on all cylinders in recent weeks or over the course of the season as well. Obviously, it says that John will defend him. I will defend him to a point, but I did say in the show that we did when we essentially spoke about how Villa's chance creation is extremely low. We did also say, and we did do quite a big passage on how Watkins isn't at the level that he would expect from himself either.
Yeah.
And criticism of him is absolutely warranted, and we criticise him too. I've been critical of him this season. He hasn't been good enough. That's that. But as I've said with other players, you need to have balance here. Over the course of 3 years with Unai Emery, Ollie Watkins has been a fundamental part of our success, and he's not now turned 35 and had an ACL injury. In fact, he is, or should be really, at the peak of his powers if we supply him correctly. And my opinion on it is that if you feed Ollie Watkins enough times, he will get you enough goals because he is of the level that Villa have needed in the last few seasons. Without his goals 2 years ago, Villa do not play Champions League football. Without his goals last season, Villa do not reach the Champions League last quarter final, and they do not go as far as they went in the league as well. I know, obviously, Emery preferred Rashford in different games in the second half of last season, but we can't just ignore what Watkins brings to the team. And for that reason, I'm happy to stick by him. However, in my opinion, Marlon should be given a run in the team to play alongside Watkins, because I am seeing that works well. It's not for me like it was with Duran or Danny Ings. So after the game yesterday, Emery was asked, is that something that you're going to try and do more consistently? But he essentially said what he said whenever we'd ask him about Duran as well and playing alongside Watkins. And he mentioned how defensively the structure has to be strong, and how so those two players are playing well together, but I just don't think it's something he's going to do moving forward, which is a shame, because I want to see more of that. I don't want to, how do I put it? I'm not saying Ollie Watkins has to start every game and Marlon has to be on the bench. I want them both to play together and have a run in the team together, because I think they can both get the best out of each other, or at least that's something of what we've seen so far. I always talk about the Burnley match when these questions are asked. Marlon gets in those positions because of Watkins' movement, and I think part of that question was, you defend him when he's getting in the right places. Yeah, and that's fair enough, but getting in the right places to score goals, Watkins can be hanging at the back post or do whatever he needs to do. If the ball doesn't reach him, the ball doesn't reach him. The Sunderland match, when Sancho puts the ball in the box, and he really should have scored that chance, Watkins. I'm criticising him here. He should have scored, but that's what we need more of. We need to be feeding him. Yeah. And in the last few games, I don't think we have been doing that very well. I don't recall him having too many chances, unless I'm mistaken. There was one where the ball was played in behind the defence and he's running onto it and couldn't quite get his toe to the ball. But again, this isn't a unknown striker that we've heard nothing about, coming from, I don't know, some league in Ecuador, and that we hope is going to do great things. We've seen Ollie Watkins score goals before, and I'm sure we'll see it again. I'm not going to talk. Well, I've spoken a lot about him now, but I would kind of advise you to go back to our Q&A. Anyone who's listened to this, and we speak there about chance creation, but also a lot about Watkins too. So, what could January look like? Could you, or will we, replace Watkins? How would that come about? Is it possible? Where would we look? Or how could we look, I guess, after that, if it was to happen? So, yeah, a lot was said there about Ollie, but will I defend him to a point? But equally, no, he's not at the level required. And maybe, as Tuchel has said today, partially that's due to fitness. So there's always, I'm not saying the question, who was it from? Sorry, check now.
I don't think there was a name on this one.
No, there is. From Dan. Yeah. So I'm not saying, oh, you're right. And sorry, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that, that I'm right and you're wrong. I just think there's always a balance of these things. I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, sell Ollie Watkins in January. Absolutely. Bring someone else in. But again, as advise you to go to the Q&A, well, what does that look like? Can we do that? Is it possible? Equally, he still has enough credit in the bank for me, that we can rely on him over the course of the season, but he does need help as well, chance creation and also in terms of backup.
Yeah, I'm going to move on from Watkins. There's a comment in the live chat. I'm going to click this. I don't know how this is going to appear. Oh, there we go. From Riley. Best podcast to listen to are running lab tests at work. Please do not let us distract you from what sounds like important work. I'd love to know what that is. Another one from Shadow. I love this. Do you think husband is wasted on the right? Should we play him as a centre forward? That is a typo for Gassons, which is great. Okay. And we will get to him later. So rest assured, Shadow, we'll get to that. I'm going to pick a comment next, just because I like the title. And this is one of the few that I like this week. So they're not as creative as they usually are. The next one is called Ham and Eggers. Are you ever familiar with those phrase?
Ham and Eggers?
Yeah. I've not heard of this until this thing. From Tony, Bournemouth have so many good players that I think, apart from Adam Smith, no offence, every one of their players would either do a job or improve our team. Stylistically, I do think if we get our tactics correct with clip balls in the right areas, this game does suit what we're good at. But it's vital we play at least one of Yuri, Buendia, or even Barkley, because the front six yesterday are all decent players in their own right, but they are all, to steal a phrase from Tony Pulis, ham and eggers, and aren't the best at the passes between the lines. And those are needed to take advantage of the spaces Bournemouth leave. I feel like I need to do some research here on what Tony Pulis means by ham and eggers. But I get the point. Tielemans, I know there's another question about him later on. He alone would make a big difference. But how do you feel these sides match up stylistically? What are your thoughts on Bournemouth, basically? Let's do some actual preview.
Can I hit you with some stats, Dan?
You can indeed.
We'll get to the question. Firstly, we did speak about Ross Barkley there. So Ross Barkley has only been involved in more Premier League goals against Newcastle, 6 goals and 2 assists, than he has against Bournemouth. So he scored 4 goals and got 3 assists against Bournemouth, and obviously scored in the 1-1 draw last season as well. I wouldn't start him though. So
no, me neither.
But yeah, we'll get on to Tielemans in a bit. Just thought I'd mention it. Yeah, they can play direct Bournemouth. They are quite an aggressive team. They press well. Iraola is obviously an extremely good coach, and expect them to be causing us problems. Only Chelsea have had more shots on target in any Premier League match this season than Bournemouth. That's a problem. Villa, I don't think have been defensively poor, to be honest, this season. I think, again, as we've said previously, our issue for me is in the final third. We don't look like we're being particularly threatening in many of our games at all, to be honest. And I don't actually know. Can I quickly check what Bournemouth's defensive numbers are? I'm just gonna quickly check goals against. 14. Sorry, come on.
You've done it quicker than I thought. I thought it'd take you some time.
14 goals against, which is quite a lot. That is the second most in the top half of the table. We've conceded 10, just for kind of perspective. So no, we can definitely get at them, but they can certainly get at us as well. So it will be an intriguing game. We have to play very well, of course, to win it. And then I also just want to quickly review these stats as well. Tyler Adams has made the 6th most tackles in the Premier League this season and the 3rd most interceptions, which in some way relates to what we spoke about in our Q&A about how Villa have been intercepted more times than any other team, and we are struggling to beat players. So I was praying actually that he got geez, I'm not that desperate, but I was hoping that he was going to get booked against City because he was one away from a 1 game ban for 5 yellow cards. So that's a shame. And then also their left back Trafford has made more overlapping runs in the Premier League this season. That doesn't make sense. Has made the most overlapping runs in the Premier League this season of left backs, I presume, or maybe just any player. So, yeah, my delivery in these stats is terrible, but I hope you get the message. They're a good side, Bournemouth.
Just about. I was about to call this that this has the potential makings of being game of the weekend, and then I forgot Liverpool City play, although those games don't necessarily mean they're going to be good. Tottenham United as well. But Villa Bournemouth, it feels like Iraola, Emery, 2 on their day, good sides. I know we've struggled a bit going forward, but feels like it has the makings of like a nice... Well, hopefully we win, but like a spicy 2 or something like that. We'll get to predictions and stuff later.
Yeah, just quickly mentioning what Tony mentioned there about how every player could probably do a job.
I'm more interested in what Tony Pulis is talking about. I'm waiting to share that.
Yeah, we bring balance here. It's an interesting one because I actually think you could probably pick most players in the Premier League, and Unai would just do a job with them. If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, I absolutely agree with what Tony has said. Because I believe that for Fulham, I believe that for Bournemouth, I believe that for Palace. Like, I think there's so many teams in this division where we could take players from and they would do a great job for us. You know, I think that says more about Emery than most things, or as well. The level in the Premier League is just very good across the board. So, yeah, and then finally on the question, when do it's an intro. You say we're going to talk about Tielemans later, are we? I'll save it.
Yeah, next.
All right, we'll save it.
Okay, Tony Pulis, ham and eggers is a phrase actually, and I do this quite often that I'm not familiar with these old ye olde phrases. So Google's dictionary definition is an ordinary man. For example, he's fired from his law firm and forced to hit the streets with 1,000 other ham and eggers. And apparently, much like last week's, what was it, a puncher's chance? It originates from boxing, in the sense of an average boxer who only earns enough to pay for his meals. So like a slogger, basically, like not very creative. Tony Pulis' ham and eggers they do a job.
I think that's a horrible saying, by the way. Ham and eggers,
isn't it? Yeah, it sounds horrible. It does. Yeah. In the live chat, Bambino Quinn says, Pulis calls the physical lads ham and eggers and the fancy players tip-top Charlies. I remember tip-top Charlies, actually. I think we should bring that back. Right, next one. Simple. Don't forget Yuri. Please don't forget Yuri Tielemans has barely played a minute this season. How many additional chances would we have created with Tielemans replacing Onana in the midfield? Maybe the key January acquisition is already in the squad and about to return to the pitch. Obviously saw him last night. I think this comment might have come before last night from PDX. And that brings me nicely into a predicted 11. He is one of, I think, the more key talking points. Yeah. Does Tielemans start, do you think? Is he ready for that? I mean, Emery maybe some press lines from Emery later today, and we might know.
Well, there will be at some stage today, but obviously he's not going to say he's going to start or not. I'm not totally sure, which, it's not the answer that anyone wants, but just because he was only given 15 minutes yesterday, it feels quite a jump to then give someone a start the next game. However, he could start and play an hour, and I don't think that would be a major problem. But then I do look at, of course, he had a setback, didn't he? So I think we've got to be careful. Got the international break coming, so if there is any sort of noticeable lag or fatigue, we're not going to feel it in next weekend because we don't play a full match. So I hope he starts. But equally, I want him to start if he's ready to start. Yeah, I don't want Yuri to play 45 minutes and then it ruins our flow for the second half. I'd rather be solid or try and be solid with Onana and Kamara and then bring Yuri into the game if needed, or even at half-time. We've seen that before. Emery can make or does make some changes at the break when he feels he has to. And as the question says, a phenomenal player to bring on or bring into the game or just bring into your team right now, considering the chance creation is low. The only thing I would respond to that is that I still have a question mark over Gassons. I don't think he's a threat really at the moment. Sancho can be a threat, but not quite feeling it too much. I think Buendia and Rodgers are the two players who will play off that sort of left side. McGinn on the right, Cash right back. I think that's probably the way to go for this game because I don't think Marlon will start alongside Watkins. I just don't feel it.
No, I don't think we'll see that either.
But again, nice options, but I just question, do we have enough quality and depth really in those wide areas? We have depth, we have bodies in those wide areas, but real quality that you're going to say, Gassons will score double digits, Sancho will score double digits, Buendia will score. I don't see that myself. So yes, Tielemans will create chances. It was 2 touches and he made a chance yesterday against Maccabi, which Marlon, I mean, to be fair, he did everything right. The keeper just made a great save. But I'm talking more wide players. As we said in the Q&A, essentially our success rate from dribbling past opponents is the worst in the league. We're getting intercepted and dispossessed more than any other team. We're not scaring players in wide positions, opposition in wide positions. We don't have Leon Bailey of 2 years ago. We don't have that kind of profile of player. Yeah, you think off the top of your head, like an Anthony Elanga or something. I know he's having a great time at Newcastle, but that type of player, hug the touchline and genuinely scares an opponent. I don't think we have that. I think we don't have the pace to do that. So kind of going away from the question, but yeah, Tielemans will absolutely help. But I'm just talking more positionally from the Q&A.
Yeah, what kind of 11 are we looking at then? Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Powell, Dean. Is Dean the trusted Premier League choice?
I think he is. Yeah.
Kamara and Nana, most likely. I would like to see Tielemans start if, like you just said, he's ready to start. Then absolutely, you put him in there. Further forward, I think it will be Watkins again, or just to talk more on him in a second. Rodgers, I thought, played well last night, and he's certainly turned a corner the last few weeks. I think it looks more like it. McGinn absolutely will start as well. Is it Buendia as well? Is it McGinn, Buendia, Rodgers as the three?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then you've got Marlon off the bench when you need him, Sancho too. Elliott will be sitting there potentially.
He'll be sat there, yeah. We can guarantee that much at least.
Maybe,
maybe
maybe
we
don't know.
There. Yeah,
we don't
know. We can't talk about him every single episode. Just on Watkins, with Tuchel saying that he's been playing with pain and that's why he's not in the England squad. Yeah. One, that may be an excuse. He's also not scoring many goals, and you can't include a player that isn't in good form. But does that almost force Emery's hand a little bit? That can he start him on Sunday if he's not fit? Why not? Why don't you start Marlon then? If Watkins has got enough, can surely you should be playing.
Well, I think one of the first questions of the press conference will whether Watkins scores twice, none, misses a penalty, whatever happens in that game, there will be a talking point after if Watkins starts as well. Okay, so if he scores, well, is he not fit enough to play for England then? And if he doesn't score, it's why did you start him? Because he's not fit enough to play for England. So there'll be a talking point from it, but I don't think Unai Emery will care. He'll make his own judgment on this. Yeah, he won't care. He won't be influenced what about whatever anyone else thinks. We've seen this with the Harvey Elliott situation, really. I mean, how do I put this? He knows questions are coming about Harvey Elliott, and he's obviously not telling the full truth or couldn't care less about what people think. So he's his own man, and he will choose the right players that he thinks will win the game at the right times, if that makes sense. You know, maybe he'll give Watkins 30 minutes at the end because he isn't quite ready, or he'll give him 60. So, yeah, but I think the team you named there, think that's probably about right.
Okay, give me another topic, please. We've actually got 6 left, so should we hurry up a bit?
Okay. Non-existent.
Non-existent. Okay, I think we all know where this is going. Do we think we are playing Gassons in the wrong position, or is he just struggling to adapt to the Premier League? I can't believe we've signed someone who is that non-existent in matches. When you had your French football expert on the podcast talking about him, I was excited, expected an upgrade on a Bertrand Traoré type player who could do unexpected things and have us off our seats. Now, I agree with this. I was also excited about him doing that podcast episode. I thought we learned a lot about, seems like a good profile. I saw Neil from the Love of Paul McGrath podcast tweeting about his average positions last year and playing much more centrally, either as a number 9 or 10. We're playing him on the right-hand side. Yes, his work rate is good. I think that's helped Matty Cash. But going forward, I agree. He's basically non-existent and has offered very little threat. Scored against, was it the Go Ahead Eagles game?
Yeah.
Basically fumbled it into the net by tackling the player more so than he scored a goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I do agree, and I think he's getting the most pelters at the moment of he's awful, he's terrible, he's a woeful footballer, should never play for us again. We're already at that kind of level. Now, in the post-match show, I don't know whether you listened, I kind of joked about him being in the wrong position. I checked the mailbag this morning for this show, and there was a couple of other people suggesting like he'd probably be a good right back. And I almost said it as a bit of a joke, but I kind of do feel like, and I'm not suggesting you convert this. You don't convert this striker who scored goals in League One to a right back. But it almost does feel like a right wing back where you get forward a bit, but your main duty is to track back and help the back three. It probably does suit him better, which is bizarre.
Well, he looks lost at the moment. The caveat I have with a lot of this show, and I didn't see Neil's post, but I'm sure it'll be along the lines of what I've been saying as well. Of when he played for Nice last season, and this was obviously not the position that he was playing. It's quite regimented, I think, for Gassons. He does not look like a player who enjoys, or I think he's just happy to playing for Villa, to be honest. But in terms of his game, I think he'd much prefer to have freedom and have the ability to run off the shoulder and link play in a more central role, as you say. We can't afford him that because we have different players. We have, Morgan Rogers, John McGinn, Wendir, so on and so on. Donny Marlin can vacate spaces. Ollie Watkins runs channels. So what we've brought him in for, I don't think is suiting his best talents. But we knew that before we signed him because Emery has played him on the right side so consistently. Yeah. I think the only time that we've seen him play anywhere else, or one of the only times, was actually when he first played for Villa in a pre-season game against Villarreal, I think. Or was it against Marseille? Can't quite remember. But he was playing on the left side against Villarreal anyway. And he knocked the ball past someone and made a chance, and that looked promising. But we have not seen any of that really. We haven't. What concerns me more than anything else is that if you gave me like 2 pills when he signed, I don't know where I'm going with this. I feel like it's a terrible analogy because I don't want to put a teaser for a video we've done recently, but it includes Kendrick, put it that way. 2 pills. One of them is, you get a player who has, you know what? I'm not going to go down this route. I'm shocked that his attacking output or his kind of threat and his influence in the final third has been so poor. Yeah. But I'm also surprised that his contribution out of possession is so good. Do you know what I mean? And I can't work out in my head, kind of going back to the pill thing, which one would you rather have? And I'm going to and fro thinking, well, the defensive side is almost a bonus, but we're not getting what we signed him for, really.
Yeah.
Then equally, would you rather not just have him being a good attacker and not having the bonus?
Well, especially when Matty Cash is actually playing well this season.
Yeah, so it's a strange one, but no, absolutely. He does look lost at the moment, and he isn't influencing games like we'd hoped. I said this in my we'll talk after the game last night. I think it was after Fulham or one of those early games.
By the way, sorry.
Don't worry.
Not done that.
Do it later. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I was starting to like what I saw. I think we even got a couple of questions in the Q&A saying like, it's starting to, it was quite a low bar at the start from Gassons, but then he's starting to put something together. And he's he might have even gone backwards, to be honest, from then. So it is a shame, but I don't have the answer for this, to be honest.
It is still early. Is the only thing I will say. Yeah, that's it. I'm hoping early, but that something is in there, and we're just not seeing it because he's moved house and he doesn't feel comfortable, or there's something mentally going on, or whatever.
He's been learning to drive.
It's just not quite right. Has he?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And he's very, very nice guy. Speaks very good English as well. Like, there's no real reason for him to be like unsettled or anything like that. And when I do watch him, he does battle. He's a trier as well. Like last night when I'm seeing him on the wing, like he's putting an effort, but there's just not a lot of quality there.
Yeah.
But then I do look back at the last season, 13 goals in all comps for Nice, 10 assists. This isn't a terrible player. He's not. However, he does look like he would fit in an old Villa team that would struggle. I think that's the issue. So we've got a player here who is, he needs a lot of work, but I'm hoping that Emery will get out of it. I mean, if anyone is, it's going to be Emery. So
he's playing him. Yeah. He's giving him minutes.
He's playing him. Yeah.
Let's move on, please. Next one.
Done that one. £50 million.
£50 million. Interesting comments from John McGinn upon signing his new contract. He referenced £50 million players coming into his position and that they're nowhere near being close enough to being better than him. Is this a reference to Onana, Diaby, or possibly nobody specific?
No.
Love that he's backing himself from Chelsea Villa. I actually thought this comment would be taken in a different context of, is that him kind of downplaying his teammates? I don't think it's that at all, is it?
No. We got the chance to speak to. Well, we sat down with John for about 40 minutes or so.
John,
the other day, McGinn.
Yeah, just John.
I'm John as well, so we bond. Friends. We we got a chance to speak to him, and he speaks incredibly well. He'll be a pundit of some sort in the future. McGinn. Like, I put out one piece on that night, and it was 1,600 words. And I've got another 2 more that I need to file, which are probably both going to be about 1,600 words as well, because everything he says is just gold dust. That he never comes out with a line that you just kind of... Sometimes when you interview a player, I would do the same thing if someone asked me about something. A lot of it can just be kind of fluff, or it's you highlight, delete, and focus on the main stuff. With McGinn, every single word just hits the spot. So with this, though, I'll clarify, he's not calling out teammates or anything. He just means he's pulled out a figure from the air and essentially said that he's been challenged while at Villa. And
players come and go, but I'm still here, basically.
Essentially, yeah. And it's true. He is still and he's still starting games. He hasn't been pushed out. I think he mentioned in there, essentially when other players come in, or in the future, other players with longer names, that sort of thing. It's that's his challenge. He's done it before, and he's going to try and do it again. So that's it. Yeah. There's no, he wasn't directing that at anybody.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next one, please. I already know that this next one, if you pick the one, if you're doing these in order, we've basically already talked about it, but I like the title.
I mean, there's 2 titles here that are questionable, but I'll go with Touch the Warm Line.
Touch the warm line. Lads, is the 10-match clause kick in for Elliott for January or the whole season? I'm surprised I let him use the touch line to warm up last night. I feel for the lad. I hope we don't go back in for Paqueta. The only reason I've included this, as you say, we've recorded something recently where we looked back at old things that we've said and done.
Yeah.
One of those was touching the hug line. So when I saw warming up on the touch line, I thought, let's change that around to be touching the warm line. We spoke about Elliott. We spoke about this clause. Yeah. It's weird. I don't think we're going to see him play much, and he might go back to Liverpool. The end.
Yeah, my dad isn't called Kev, but this is exactly the theory he has, and he reminds me of it most times that I see him.
I'm going to start calling your dad Kev from now on.
He's not. It's Paul. Shout out to Paul. Yeah, I mean, obviously Villa wanted Paqueta. Paqueta wanted to join Villa, as we reported. That celebration was a load of rubbish. Didn't happen. Whether he stays at Japan, whether he stays at West Ham in January is another question. What do you mean good? That wasn't good at all.
No, because you've got ham and the sound of Jan mixed up, and I get it.
You love that sort of thing. And yeah, we'll see what happens in January. Again, in terms of budgets and different things, Villa aren't going to be blessed with a big pot of money here. So how they work things out, we've said it before, I'll say it again. Let's find out. But in terms of Harvey Elliott, it's not ideal situation for him. But is he aware of the situation either before he signed, or is he aware of it now? I cannot see for the life of me that Unai Emery is just not fancying him, and that he's just warming the bench every single game, and he's warming up with a smile on his face. It doesn't make sense to me. So again,
do you think he could have joined with the thing of you're not going to play till January because of a financial loophole. But you won't play till January. You will warm up. You'll get minutes here and there. It will be less than 10 games. You'll be around the place. You'll get to learn our ways, but you won't. Can we even do that? Is that a thing? We can do it.
Yeah, of course we can. The only thing I would say to that, and it's something that I'm looking at and thinking, surely they must be something like that. But we used up his appearances early on, so maybe I don't know. But anyway, yeah, loopholes, all sorts. They're in vogue, aren't they, at the moment, and they have to be for Villa. So we'll find out in due course. But yeah, we're not going to talk about it to death. But
no. Let's move on. Move on, please.
Okay, I'll move on to pieces of meat.
Pieces of meat. I think this is something we've touched on a little bit. Yeah. I'm a bit uncomfortable with the way we've appeared to have treated certain players. Ramsey, Elliott, Oshkan, Dobbin, Nedeljkovic. They just seem like pieces of meat to trade, says Barry. We've spoken a little bit about this in previous episodes about players that come and go. And you okay, John? You don't look particularly happy with...
Sorry, just... no, fine. The house is still going ahead as we stand. It's not related to that.
Okay, good. These players that come and when you think they're not going to play for us, they are a pawn in this game. They are part of a loophole. They will come and they will go, and that's that. But referencing Ramsey and Elliott there, the question from Barry feels slightly different to the likes of Oshkan and Dobbin and those kind of players. But I get it. Yeah. Players come and go, and I think this is the modern game now that you don't get too excited maybe sometimes.
Yeah. I don't really feel sorry for footballers really, but in terms of Ozcan and Nedeljkovic, I think, they're coming to a club, and I don't know exactly what was said at the time, but the optics of it don't look great. That, Monchi signs them, Emery looks at them and says, nope. And then, days or months later, they're not out the door completely, but, with by options. So we've essentially said to them, you can go because it doesn't fancy you. And that doesn't look like good business to me. I'm sure most people will agree with that. The other ones are slightly different reasons why. We know what happened with Dobbin, and I'm sure Dobbin was more than happy to sign a contract with Aston Villa. He's not a Premier League player. Hopefully he will be. But right now he's a Championship player, so he's never expecting to play first and with Aston Villa. Neither was Nedeljkovic or Ozcan, but as young players moving countries, then moving again. Optics aren't great, but at the same time, you could be doing worse jobs, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, give me the last one then. The last one on the document. There is another one in there, but I can't be bothered to talk about it, to be completely honest. I won't tell people what that conversation is. You can speculate it. I just don't want to get into it again. So give me something else, please.
Wait, sorry, you're going to say that again because I've got two things here and one of them...
Go to the one at the bottom, okay? Forget the other one. I can't be bothered.
Okay, so how does it play... No, Film club.
Film club. This is more up my street. Just what's the latest Q&A? I noticed a Back to the Future poster in my office. It's a great film and in my top 5 of all time. I just wondered, Dan, is that your favourite film? And John, have you ever watched a film? This is good. Have you got a favourite film? I know that you don't watch many, but of the few you've got, have you got one?
You have 4 films on your wall, right? Or
I
posters?
Do, yes. I do.
What are they, if you mind saying them?
So we've got Back to the Future, the first one. We've got Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, and The Dark Knight.
Yeah, because I saw the Dark Knight one, and I like The Dark Knight, so I've watched that, but I haven't watched the other films.
You haven't watched those three? You've never seen Jurassic Park?
No. I suppose, do people like Jurassic Park? I always thought it was a thing of like,
do people like Jurassic Park? Nah, people don't like it. They've just got posters on the wall for it. What do you mean, do people like it?
No, really? I always thought it was one of those where people
would be... It's like a cultural phenomenon, I would say. Jurassic Park. It's like one of the cornerstones of like.
I feel like whenever people talk about it, it's always with they've done another one though.
Yeah. This is the first one from like 1992 or something. Like the early ones were good. The more modern ones aren't as good. I'll give you that. Yeah, we're kind of confusing two lots of.
Hulk, not the Hulk. Of course, it's not The Rock. They got The Rock in it and stuff like that. Is that something like was he in the first one?
No.
Okay.
The Rock.
Don't watch him. Yeah. He's in it, isn't he?
I don't know. We really show up your lack of cultural film reference for these kind of things.
No, it's just film.
Just film.
It's cultural.
Yeah. It's just a big White House, mate.
So we are, mate.
Never seen Back to the Future. That's no life, says Sadie. Back to the Future is one of the all times as well. So those four were, I mean, and Indiana Jones less so, but the other three would certainly be up there like, easily in my top 10. Those three, which is why I've got them as posters in my office. Dark Knight's a good choice though for your favourite. That'd certainly be up there.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's my favourite film. I don't know what it is, but I just say it was a good film. I'll watch that.
Okay. Good. Right, that'll do for this one. Oh no, predictions, of course. Predictions. I don't think either of us got Man City right at all. I don't have the document open in front of me.
I think I had a draw.
I know Man City, Liverpool. Sorry. I thought we might sneak a win. Did I say that? Okay, don't remember that really. You said 2-2. You said Desmond's 2-2. Yeah, good. Obviously, 2-0 defeats and nothing there. What are you going to go for Bournemouth? Another Desmond 2-2?
I'm going to say a draw though, which is a bit depressing. But I'm going with my head, and I'm going to say. I should probably say 2, but I'm not going to play that game, so I'm just going to say 1-1.
Okay, 1-1. Would you take a point now?
No, it's home game. No,
I'm gonna go 2-1 Villa. I think it could have the makings of a bit of a classic.
Can I ask you a question?
If you like, yeah.
How many games have Villa won when going 1-0 ahead at Villa Park under Unai Emery? Out of 35.
I was about to say how many, first of all, to kind of give me something. So Villa go ahead, and how many have they gone on to win?
Villa Park under Emery.
Oh. Now, this is obviously we all know we've got a good record. There will be the occasional one where we've not gone on to win. I'll say 31.
Nearly 29 out of 35.
Okay, which is a great record still.
Yeah. Bringing a stat to the table.
Do you know off the top of your head? Because I know there will be some, but do you know how many? What the games were that we didn't win when we went ahead? Yeah, it takes way too long, isn't it, to work that out? Don't worry about it.
West Ham, Bournemouth last season, both last season. There's 2.
Let's just leave it at that because I don't think you'll ever get
that Evan Nilsson goal was. Oh my god, that was shambles. Oh god.
A repeat of that would be horrific.
When you just see the ball drop in. Sorry, I'm playing over in my head. You just see it drop in the corner or something, and you just think, it's the worst feeling there. Honestly, it's disgusting. Yeah. I think we spoke some weeks ago about football gives you the best feelings ever. When you see the ball drop in the far corner, it's could do without that.
Just a quick one. Ian says Jumanji. Have you watched that?
No, it's a game, isn't it, Jumanji? Is it a game?
Yeah, but it's the Rock's in the remake. I thought that's where you might be getting mixed up. Anyway, forget it.
It might. No, he's always in those shows, and he's always in a rainforest or something, and he's saying, "Oh, let's save the world," and then rips off his shirt. It could be any movie.
That pretty much is Jumanji.
Probably the dinosaur one, Jurassic Park.
Dinosaur. Oh, for God's sake! Right. We'll call it a day there. Thanks for joining me, John. As per, thanks to those who got along in the live chat on Friday afternoon, a little bit earlier than we'd normally do it. But appreciate everyone for contributing. As per, I've said that twice. Myself and Kendrick will be back for the post-match show on Sunday night, as per. So do join us then if you can. You and I will be back for a Q&A on Monday, as per. So please get involved. The mailbag is always in every single link that we have. So if you want to get involved on various different comment sections and share your thoughts, you can do so. Been good fun. And shorter, John, 39 minutes. Unbelievable to do a fan zone so short. Unbelievable. Thank you very much to everyone for tuning in. We'll see you Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Thanks for watching or listening to this episode of the Claret and Blue podcast and the Fan Zone. And we'll see you Sunday. Bye-bye.